where they bitch at. Let me put you on the game.
Let me put you on the game.
Let me put you on the game.
Let me put you on the game right there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And one of my subscribers asked me in a comment on an older video, he said, what do you think about the Me Too movement and the rise in women reporting allegations? Do you think that affects modern men on the dating market? So number one, I want to say this, okay? You got to realize the Me Too movement was very specific, okay? That was targeting wealthy, influential, rich men, okay? That was targeting men more like Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. I can't remember his name, but the dude from the Whack Pack Entertainment Company that works with DC and stuff on some movies, the executive there. Guys like that. That Me Too movement was never really meant for the average man. Now, they did encourage women to start speaking up and opening their mouths, but that agenda, that whole thing was more so targeted at rich and wealthy men. And the internet and the media has this thing with over-sensationalizing stuff, right? So people picked it up and they started saying that everyday man has to worry about this. This is scary. You can get all these allegations. And 9 times out of 10, if we're being honest here, right? A woman is actually less likely to report sexual assault or being touched or being raped or anything like that than she is. As a matter of fact, it goes unreported. I've told you guys before and I'll say it again. I had a friend in college. Her uncle used to touch her. She never said a word. Okay, I had an ex who was raped by her neighbor. She never told anybody. Okay, and I used to get mad at them. I was like, why aren't you saying anything? You just letting these dudes walk around. They might do the same thing to another woman, but a lot of times they be worried about the stigma that comes along with it. They be worried that no one might believe them, which I used to think was crazy until I later ran into another woman who was touched by her stepfather, and she actually told her teacher, and her mom made her take it back. So when I seen that, her mom was basically like, oh, she likes attention, she be lying and stuff. And she took it back. I was like, dang, this actually is a problem. So in real life, if we're being completely honest, women are less likely to report you in real life, even if you actually did the crime. So the likelihood they're going to make it up or put a false allegation on you, pretty much slim to none. That's usually a rich problem, okay? If you're like Chris Brown, you're Trey Songz, you know, you're people like that, yeah, you might have to worry about false allegations, but the Me Too movement and people falsely reporting you isn't really that big of a deal for modern men. So I don't think it should play that much of a factor in your psyche when you out here dating. The last thing you want to be doing is like, oh, she fine as hell, I'm thinking about saying something to her, but oh, is she gonna Me Too me? I don't know if she's gonna Me Too me. You don't want to be worried about that. You don't want to be thinking about that. Now, with that being said, there are cases like Brian Banks where the woman does make a false allegation on you, and the woman does make the false allegation on you, and you do get jail time, okay? And so, with that being said, it is important to know how to defend yourself from these allegations. So I usually teach offense and defense equally, okay? If you watch my old videos, I have an older video where I was talking about never take girls home from the club, and when I was doing a reply to AMS, I kind of spoke on this too, but I'm going to teach you guys basically some defense, you know, a little 2-3 zone, a little cover 3 zone, so that way you can protect yourself against potential false allegations should they arise, or just put yourself in the best predicament to not necessarily have to worry about that, okay? And number one, and I'm not going to stick on this one too long because I talked about this, essentially, don't deal with drunk women. I repeat, don't deal with drunk women. So my advice is to people has always been this, okay? If you're gonna go to a kickback, you need to be going to a kickback where you know at least 2 females there, preferably the female who's hosting it, okay? Never just go to a kickback with a friend or go to a kickback with someone and you don't know any of the women there, okay? And if you ever do get a number at a bar or a club or a kickback situation and you know the woman's intoxicated, I always tell dudes, listen, call the woman back the next day. Get the number if you think she's fine. Call her back the next day. Do not bring her home that night. And this is very important, in particular, for high school and college people who might be watching this video, because you have to deal with the art of shame. See, when you're an older man, right? If a woman goes home with you from the club, or a woman goes home with you from a game night or a girls' night or something like that, the likelihood she's gonna make a false allegation on you out of shame is kind of slim to none. Because when you get older, you know, we all have jobs. You don't have the school environment anymore, the high school where everybody knows each other, or the college campus where everybody knows each other. It's a lot harder to get a name. So at the end of the day, she lets you bust her down the first night because she was drunk. Whatever. No one knows, and you'll probably never see each other again. But see, when you're in high school and when you're in college, you're in these small environments. A woman could get a name on campus. A woman could get a name in high school. And you guys got to understand that. And because a woman could get a name on campus and she can get a name in high school, you especially don't want to deal with drunk women at kickbacks or drunk women at bars in those situations as far as bringing them home. Because what'll happen is they'll go home with you, word is spread around the campus, or word is spread around the cool school. Tatiana is a slut, or Sarah is a slut. She was sucking D in the bathroom, or she let Brad take her home the same night. She let Tyrone take her home the same night. And now the only thing she can do to save her reputation is to lie and say that you took advantage of her because she was drunk. And she doesn't realize a lot of the time, because you guys got to realize the world doesn't hold women to the same level of accountability as the world holds men. Okay, so if you were to come out, for example, you say a woman took advantage of you, as messed up as it is, no one's really going to care. A lot of the dudes going to call you a sucker for even saying that. But so she's going to say that just thinking it's clearing her name, not realizing this could potentially put you in jail, not realizing that if you actually get found guilty of this offense, it stays on your record forever. You can't live near a high school, okay? You can't be around certain kids. You can't live near a public school, okay? You are a predator forever if you get charged by this, or you get charged with this, and people take this very seriously. But she's just thinking about clearing her name, okay? Listen, guys, 70%, 70-something percent of women who report being sexually assaulted or abused has something to do in some way, shape, or form with alcohol, okay? That's 3/4 of the time, okay? 3/4 of the time, all right? And then the other highest probability of something happening in those regards would be if the woman was young or she was a kid. Because the two easiest situations to take advantage of a woman in that way is when she's young and she's a child, or when she's intoxicated, okay? So that's rule number one. Do not bring home drunk women. Get their number, call them the next day, text them the next day. They still want to talk to you, they rock. If they don't want to talk to you no more, hey man, you win some, you lose some, but you still have your freedom, you still have a clean record, and you can live to fight another day. Even when it comes to buying alcohol, I tell dudes all the time, if you're going to go and chill with a female, she wants you to bring something to drink, you need that in text. Which brings me to key number 2. This is important part number 2. Keep a documented record of all your interactions that have anything to do with sex or are sexual in any nature with women, okay? I mean all of them. Like I said, even if a woman tells you to bring a drink over, she's like, yo, bring some wine or bring some liquor, you need to have her text that. Oh, you want me to bring liquor? What kind of liquor do you want me to bring? I want you to bring tequila, or I want you to bring this type of wine, so that there's clear consent that she's asking you to bring this liquor over, okay? If you're flying out to meet a woman, or you're flying a woman in to meet you, you need that done in text. Don't do this type of stuff over the phone. Put that in a text so you have something to back you up. Hey, she asked to be flew out, or she asked me to fly in, okay? She said she was comfortable staying at this hotel. It's right here. You want all that right there. Guys, I'm going to tell you a trick that I use all the time. So a lot of times what I'll say instead is, if I know that we're going to go to fornication, or fornication is the path that I'm headed down with a specific woman, I'll always say to her, do you have any condoms? And the reason I'll say, do you have any condoms, or I might even say, did you take your pills today, is because I want her to acknowledge what's going down. She'll be like, yeah, I took my pills today, you're good. Or she'll be like, yeah, I got condoms, we good to go. And that's another form of documented consent that you have. She's saying, yeah, I got the condoms, which means she had the intentions to sleep with you. Or she's saying, yeah, I took the birth control, we good. It means she had the intentions to sleep with you. Now, again, I can tend to get really freaky with girls, so sometimes I have them break down exactly what they're going to do, but you got to say it in a way where it's not going to turn them off. So a lot of times I'll say something like, what are you going to do to me, or tell me what you want me to do to you, right? Because that keeps it sexy. They don't know that I'm about to screenshot this as proof of consent, and they'll tell you, oh, I'm going to drop down on my knees and I'm going to do this. I want you to bend me over and do that. They're going to tell you what they want you to do to them, and you screenshot that. You keep a record of everything. First of all, guys, women keep a record of everything. Women got shit in their phone from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, stuff that you said that you didn't even think was important, but they knew it might come back up one day. You need to keep a record of these things in your phone just in case anything goes sideways. Just because you never know. Now, hopefully nothing goes sideways, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, it probably won't. But in the event that it does, for whatever reason she decides to say you took advantage of her or you did something to her or something like that, you could pull up those text messages and say, no, this was the plan, this was the intent, and blah, blah, blah. Now, you can still be accused, so you may still have to go to court. I have to tell you guys that because that's just the truth, okay? But chances are you will win in court without having to spend nearly as much money just from having these examples and documents. A lot of times they'll drop the case if they know you have these examples and documents, okay? So it's not about preventing you from going to court. It's about protecting you if she decides to go that route. And of course, this is making an assumption that y'all not actually doing anything to these females, because some of y'all, I already replied to AMS, some of y'all kind of be planning on preying on drunk women again, especially younger men. When you're in college, you're in high school, you know, y'all have the kickbacks, y'all have the parties, your parents done opened up the liquor cabinet or whatever the case may be, and you're in these environments where you have these women, and they specifically at that age, they do not know how to handle their liquor. They don't know how to handle their liquor, so they'll say, oh, I got it, oh, I got it, oh, I'm good, and they'll black out, and then the next day, everything's going to be your fault. You're going to be held accountable at the end of the day. Rather it's right, wrong, or indifferent, for some reason, when a man's drunk, a man still looked at as he should be the responsible party. But when a woman's drunk, it's like, well, she can't consent to any decisions. For some reason, you can consent to decisions. She can't consent to decisions when she's under the influence of alcohol. But we don't make the rules. We just adapt to them, okay? There's always stuff in life that's not fair. Life ain't fair. As a man, you don't complain about it. You just adapt to it. So those are the ways that you protect yourself. And that's how you handle it as far as avoiding allegations when you're out on the modern dating market. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.